Hi, this is Dr. Keith McAfee. Welcome to Medicine and Faith, where I talk about a subject of medicine, teach about that, and then relate that to our faith. Today, we're going to talk about posture, everybody's favorite subject. We all struggle with this. And poor posture, in my book, involves many things, but it involves three major things that we're going to talk about today. One is weakness. Our muscles get weak in our back because we don't exercise them. We sort of slouch and the muscles just don't get used. Because if you slouch your back, there's a point at which it stops. And then your muscles aren't working because the bones are just pushing against the discs and they're stopped. Number two, it develops a bad habit. We just get in the habit of slouching. And number three, we get indifferent about it. We just don't care. Well, it's fine by me. I'm relaxed. I'm fine. So bad habit, indifference, and the muscles get weak. So how do we fix this? You've heard everybody say, well, chest up, stomach in, shoulders back, neck out. You get about 15 instructions. Pretty soon you feel like some deformed mannequin in a clothing store or something. It's hard to keep track of it all, and you can't possibly think about that all day long while you're going about your day. Well, there's one thing you can think about that gives you perfect posture. If you want to think about one thing, this is it. The sternum, which is your breastbone, that's that bone right up here in the front of your chest, right at the top of it has a little notch, that little divot. It's called the sternal notch, okay, right here, right at the bottom of your neck. Think of an angel above with a magic string right through the top of your head, and it's attached, it's glued right to that sternal notch, okay? And think about that angel kind of lifting it. So slouch in your slouch. Go ahead and let yourself slouch. Everything's totally relaxed. And then in your mind's eye, think about that string pulling up. And as you pull up on that string until it naturally stops, don't go up and certainly don't go out. Just nice and relaxed until it kind of stops naturally. That's perfect posture. Everything's totally relaxed. I'm not doing anything except that. And that gives you wonderful posture. So it's very easy to think about. The problem is, how do we stay that way all day? There is actually a trick you can do. Some people don't like it. It actually does work. If this is you, okay, and here's your arms. I'm not the artist of choice here, but here you are, and here's your back and your neck. Now, if you take a piece of tape, and it does not have to be strong tape, and you start at the front, just over the front of the shoulder, and you tape across your back, so you start sort of around here, and you tape across your back, and then you go right around the front. You sort of come down here, around here, until it's a little bit around it just keeps it from pulling off a little bit. So you come around and then you do the same thing and you go across here, and if it helps, they crisscross right about in the middle of the back, sort of where a bra strap connector would be for the women in the audience. And what it does, but you get yourself in good posture and you have to have somebody else do this. They tape your back and then they let go. And what happens when you start to slouch? You feel that tape pulling. Try it. You'll feel that tape pulling. Now, it can be very weak tape. It's not supposed to hold your back up. It's not a structural, strong holding up of your back. It's the reminder. You feel it pull, and it's like a voice that's nagging you, saying, stand up, because you don't want somebody standing behind you all day walking around saying, stand up straight, stand up straight, stand up straight. So this becomes the voice that tells you to stand up. Okay? You can think of it as a nagging voice if you would like, or you can think of it as a loving reminder if you want. But either way, it's supposed to help you. And I mean, it's designed to get your muscles in shape, get you in a better habit again, and help you to care. Now, why would that help indifference? If you think about it, if I'm slouched, it pushes on my lungs. It's actually harder to breathe. It's not very comfortable. You have to kind of take extra breaths every so often because you find yourself under-breathing because you're kind of squishing your lungs. And when you're actually standing up straight, as long as it's not a ton of work, you actually kind of feel better. It's a more comfortable position. The problem is we tend to do this out of habit. So your indifference goes away because you kind of say, this is nice, I kind of like this. I don't feel like I'm slouching, I'm not going to be permanent this way. Because if you're young and you do this, your bones start to grow that way. And pretty soon you can't stand up straight because your bones have grown in a curved way. You don't want that either. So the tape works very, very well. It's just that it doesn't work for everybody because some people don't want to do it. And I'm not trying to say do it anyway. I'm not trying to create fights in your homes or in spouses or whatever. It is a great idea, but I'm not going to push it because I don't want to create problems. But in spiritual lives, think about how often we have bad spiritual posture. Okay? We get in sort of the habit of having weak faith and we just don't care. It's just sort of, well, that's just my life, and it's sort of the doldrums, but yeah, I'm not even going to worry about it. And that's not really where we want to be spiritually. We want to have good spiritual habit. We want to have strong faith, and we want to have good, strong muscles. And we don't want to feel indifferent. We want to have that passion. How do you do that? Well, there's this great trick. And I found out about it in a book by St. Francis de Sales. That's D-E-S-A-L-L-E-S, 2 words. It's called Introduction to the Devout Life. It's a fantastic devotional book. And in it he has a chapter which deals with these prayers that are sudden bursts of prayers. He calls them ejaculatory prayers, which is a very legitimate term. But in today's society, especially as a physician, that term just has too many connotations. So I nickname them burst prayers. But the idea is not mine. I do not get credit for it. It goes way back to even to St. Augustine in the 300s. These are the prayers that pepper our day all day long. They're little ones, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds. You see a beautiful flower and you say, Lord, may I be as beautiful to you as that flower is to me. You see somebody do an act of kindness and you say, Lord, thank you that you are doing those acts of kindness to me all day, even when I don't know it. You can think of a zillion examples of these prayers. You stop in your mind and you say, praise you, Lord, for this good thing, or thank you for that, or help me not to do this, or help that person to do that. There are 1,000 ways you can do this, and all day long those prayers pepper your day. They develop your strength, they develop a good habit of prayer, and they're not hard to do. It just takes focus. You got to think about that and do it. And St. Francis de Sales goes on to say that the rest of your prayer life really has a hard time taking off if you don't have these prayers peppered throughout the day. And if you do, your prayer life, your devotional life takes off fully, and you really end up having a strong faith. So I very much encourage you, use these burst prayers. Think about that. They really work. This is Dr. Keith McAfee. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see other such video logs, please go to my website, KeithMcAfee.com. There you'll also learn about my book, Breathe, A Physician's Stories and Reflections on Prayer, published by Westbow Press, a series of 45 true stories from a medical career, and how that relates to our prayer life. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to talking to you again soon.